Through a basic organizational chart that you'll probably encounter mostly throughout the United States. Not all are the same. Not every location has an operations manager, but most, again, depending on the size, would have a district general manager. So what our primary role and responsibility is really is to run all facets of the business. And then there's some other stuff for me personally, but primary responsibility would be planning, revenue, cost control, growth, customer satisfaction, and of course customer retention. Our measurements are really the measurements that we show up on our P&L. So we have a top and a bottom line, and then everything in between. So these are ours, obviously. And then we also have some direct customers that we actually manage, as a district manager. Generally, it's the top 20 in the account. So, and those that are tied into national accounts, very often we'll take those under our direct control. So down from there, we have an operations manager who will generally oversee like the customer service managers and the teams associated to them, and of course the service team. So again, same kind of primary roles, except in this case, the operations manager generally does the day-to-day facets of the vending side of the business. As you can see, Avenue C is separated from the operations manager control, and I think that's pretty standard. Roles and responsibilities, again, are revenue, cost control, growth, customer satisfaction, and of course retention, very similar to what you see up here. And the measurements are very much the same, except it's just the vending P&L. So just like the district manager, the operations manager has their own set of customers that they do quarterly business reviews with. And I didn't mention that earlier. With anybody that's on the district manager list and on the operations manager list, we do a quarterly business review, and we'll go over kind of the same template once every 3 months with the customer to make sure that we're really dialed in there. Then moving down, when you get into the customer service manager, what they do is they actually they have the team, and that's who the route reps actually report directly to. So they're really very close to the front line. Their roles and responsibilities are very much the same: revenue, customer satisfaction, retention, and in some cases cost control. Again, there's some things they can do with the way the routes are structured, idling time on trucks, things like that to keep revenue in check, if you will. Their measurements are really around a plan. We always give them a plan. It's part of, it'll actually roll up into the typical P&L, but they have a plan to hit in total revenue, B9 scores, which is the variable, the 9 variable things that drive cost, and then of course stockouts. So each of the customer service managers has a lead. So the lead is actually the person that fills in if somebody goes on vacation, but is also being groomed to be a customer service manager. So, and if we move over to the service manager, this is the group that actually repairs the vending machine. So if something goes wrong, he has a team of service techs and a shop tech, and then one person that he generally has to handle any big installs. And the installs are done with the shop tech and the install tech. So again, primary responsibilities are response time. We want to get back to our customers that have issues within 2 hours. Cost control, and of course preventative maintenance. Getting out there ahead of the issues. Cleaning the fins and making sure that our equipment isn't heating up. So again, the response time that we're looking for, as I mentioned, is under 2 hours. Everybody gets an annual labor budget. So in this case, our service manager, this is his labor budget that he has to work with per week. He has $3,742 per week to use, with his service tech team. So that encompasses a little bit of overtime, but not a whole bunch. And then finally, again, separate from the operations manager, actually reports directly up to the district manager, is the Avenue C side of our business. And we have an Avenue C customer service manager, at least in this location. And most locations that have any sizable Avenue C activity will have a customer service manager dedicated to Avenue C. So again, same roles and responsibilities that we have on the vending side, except it's just exclusive to the Avenue C. And then of course their route team. So they have a route rep, or 2 route reps in this case, and then we have a warehouse person that, because we're actually picking everything by location. So it's all, we put a lot of emphasis on the warehouse in this case. The rest over here on this side, we won't go over that right now, and that's more of the back of the house stuff. So we've got the I-Vend, the district accounting manager, and of course the warehouse team is also part of that world. So.
This is first thing you want to do is to deck your machine. Then you know if there's any problems, like there's an error where you have to add what you're putting into the machine because the computer needs it. So you just scan that, scan the money bag, then you hit your decks, plug it in. You can see you start the decks. There you go, ran it all. Now everything's there. Sometimes when you do it, it'll have an error, and then you have to enter all your items in there. So that's why you do it first. Because you won't remember once you fill the machine, you do it after. You'll never remember what you put in what column. So then, just turn off this to get my holster. And you grab the first shelf, pull it out. And then you can go and you check in here. See how that it goes. It goes Cheeto, Dorito, Frito, plain. Make sure your planogram is right. This one's not right. It says it's pretzels for where the Cheetos are. So now I got to change that. Over here you hit your change button. Then you scan your package. And comes up your Cheetos up on top. You hit done. Now you're going to make that permanent. So you hit permanent. You hit this top one here. Then you hit OK. Now it says Cheetos. That's how you change the thing. This one normally has, normally you would have it filled all the way. But this is just our work one. It isn't used very much. That's why some of these are just half filled. And then when you're done, you can just hit done. And then here's where you'd scan your money bag. Do you have any refunds? Right down here it says bill exchange. You hit that. Put in the number of refunds. It was $2. All you gotta do is hit 2 because the dollars are right there. If you have oh, that's for coin. Yeah, and then your refunds, you hit there, and then it wants to know what's the reason. Incorrect change, machine malfunction, product defective. You hit whichever one it is, and then you're done with all that. What are you doing here? And on the machines, you have these coils. You got the point. You want to put the point through the coil, like that. So that'll guarantee you a sale. If you have your chips laying this way, laying like that, they're not going to bend. It's going to get caught up. The little end will get caught up and it'll be hanging there. It'll get lined up, and you'll come and all your chips will be all up in a bundle because your coil got twisted on your coil. Now, then it would break off the back part of your coil. Right back here. So then it would pop this coil and it'd just be hanging in there. Now you gotta fix it. Stick your lip over. Get over it. Stick your lip over. Come on, get in there. There we go. Then you twist it a little bit. Now it's caught in there. It was. And then you're done. Then you can put your chips back in. Make sure you put them in, pointing it down. All wrinkled. Get all wrinkly. All you gotta do is brush them a little bit. A cell. You don't want something that looks like it's all bound up, all crinkly, you know. You want to buy that Cheeto? I don't. These Pepsi machines are great, because all you got to do is take your little bob, get it there, and open. You don't have to twist. So you'll like to have Pepsi machines. In here, you get your bills from here. These are your coin mix. Take it, you usually got to give it a good shake. There's your coins, dimes, quarters, nickels. Just take a roll, dump them right in there. You want to have another little trick. You want to have one of these little screwdrivers. So you can get in these little holes in case the coin is standing up. Just get that screwdriver in there, give it a shake. It'll straighten out. Little screwdriver really comes in handy. So I'd suggest that you have one. Get your coins from down here. Dollars are here. So you change there, dollars. Where your change is. And it'll come out here. Normally you stick your pop rack right here. You want to point your bottles forward. If you put them in backwards, they will not bend. They get messed up. They won't bend through there. So you always got to make sure you got to point forward. Let me see, what are some more little tricks? Oh, like machines that you have reduced inventory. I got little markers that I carry with me. Right here's the 12 level. So I put a little line on there so I don't have to try to count bottles all the time. I can see, here's 12, here's 24. You can put your numbers on where you want to keep your inventory. That way there's no problem counting. Makes life a lot easier.